Let's get on the road. What am I doing? My seat is all in the wrong place. Alright. Alright, I'm not gonna go eat inside. I'm gonna get Burger King drive-through and keep motivating. Oh. Oh, excuse me. Maybe I'll go inside for a second just to get out of the car. I need to stretch my legs. You can do it. You can do it. Yeah. Pump it up. I'm going to go inside for a second to get food, and then I can stretch my legs. And, all right. Got a long delivery. I guess I should zip my pants up. Is that too much information? All right. Be right back. Okie dokie. Hey Cameron, morning. Wendy Ann, good morning. How are you? Alright. Alright, we got a long morning. You can do it! Alright. What time is it? Alright, good time. I think I'm okay on. Alright. keys. Start eating food. Where am I at? I'm in Brunswick. Which way do I want to get out of here? We're going to Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania. Alright, let's get some food going here. Open up the coffee. I need to get some orange juice. These Burger King crisp sandwiches are damn too good. They're too tasty. That's what happens with food science. They make shit taste so good you want it. Alright. This parking lot. Alright. Gotta get out of here. Nice turn signal. Boston Road, no, go forward. Back into Cuyahoga County.
Just saying. Just saying. She's home. 8 members of the New York Yankees tested positive for COVID-19. 7 are asymptomatic. This happened just as they were beginning to play, almost as well as the payroll. Impact on the season. We'll see. It's been strange because David Torres, the one player who did test positive, was actually vaccinated with the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. And so the question now isn't whether or not you are test positive, but what symptoms you show, and I think that's how they're going to manage this going forward. Okay, HBN's Howard Bryant. Thanks so much for being with us. Thank you. And you're listening to Weekend.
Oh, look at that.
From NPR News.
They got a big yard sale over there.
The pace of coronavirus vaccinations in Canada lags far behind that of the United States. This is largely due to a shortage in supplies. Just 30% of Canadians have been fully immunized. Most provinces delay second shots after 4 months so they can deliver more doses to protect against the surge. In recent weeks, some American border communities with ample vaccine supplies have been offering them to their neighbors in Canada. Emma Jacobs has more.
Canada and the U.S. have limited travel over the border for more than a year, but John Harrower still crosses twice a week under exemptions for truck drivers maintaining the country's integrated supply chains. He'll pick up potash from a mine a few hours from his home in Manitoba.
I will take that into South Dakota. Then I can pick up anything, but typically it's soy meal. Then I'll bring that back to Canada.
Harrower was on the road last month when he heard on the radio that North Dakota had agreed to vaccinate Manitoba drivers.
I phoned and I talked to this lovely lady named Doris at North Dakota Health, and she made my appointment for the next time I was coming past the rest stop.
North Dakota's governor said last month they'll vaccinate several thousand Canadian truck drivers at roadside clinics and may also add oil workers. Most Manitobans are waiting 4 months for second doses, but North Dakota, with ample supply, can deliver second doses within 7 weeks. Montana on Monday began vaccinating truckers from one of its neighboring provinces, Alberta. The Native American Blackfoot Confederacy crosses both. Health Director Bonnie Healy said over Zoom that the southern portion had achieved a 98% vaccination rate by April, with hundreds of extra doses. And then it got to be urgent because their supply was going to expire if not used. The Blackfeet obtained special permission to hold 2 vaccination clinics at the border, opening the second to the general Canadian public. People were lining up in the middle of the night, just really hoping for an opportunity to get vaccinated. Alaska's Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Ian Singh, delivered shots to Canadians herself on a recent visit to Hyder, Alaska. The tiny community hopes vaccinations will help ease restrictions on most travel to its nearest neighbor, the town of Stewart in British Columbia. Honestly, when I was vaccinated, it was kind of like a block party feel. People were like, I haven't seen you in a year. How are you? It's so good to see you. She had to take 3 planes to reach Hyder. The only road access comes through Stewart. If we could really have that whole community vaccinated, Canada and Hyder will feel more comfortable about allowing those people to move back and forth. The border closure has also profoundly isolated Point Roberts, Washington, which sits on a peninsula separated from the rest of the state by British Columbia. Fire Chief Christopher Carlton said he'd like to hold drive-in vaccination clinics for American citizens living in Canada or even Canadian vacationers.
They can come down, spend the summer with us, be fully vaccinated with us, and return to Canada safely for the communities that they live in.
He needs special accommodations at the border from federal authorities for this to happen, like those that made other cross-border clinics possible, including an exemption to Canada's 14-day quarantine for returning travelers. But one more border community wants to achieve vaccination at a larger scale. A hospital administrator in Windsor, Ontario, has asked to have 75,000 excess vaccines offered up by Michigan delivered to Canada, and to send residents of his region to walk-in clinics across the border in Detroit. For NPR News, I'm Emma Jacobs in Montreal.
This is NPR News.
The deepening crisis between Israelis and Palestinians and why this time it's different. Also, how to help the needle phobic through a vaccine shot, and 80s movie star Andrew McCarthy on his Brat days.
Stepping out on the hollow ground of fame is precarious when you're not even sure who you are yet.
Those stories Sunday on Weekend Edition of NPR News.
Support for WKSU comes from Stark State College.
A lovely day.
Enrolled for fall semester can do so without tuition. Stark State is the local community college with locations in Summit and Stark counties. Learn more at starkstate.edu. This is 89.7 WKSU, your source for NPR news and information. Headlines are next. Good morning.
I'm Giles Snyder with these headlines. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson says he still plans to roll out the next stage of lockdown and easing measures on Monday, but he's warning that the variant first identified in India might delay plans to lift all restrictions in late June. Public health officials are trying to contain an outbreak in 2 northern English towns. People in Poland are no longer required to wear masks outside where they can observe social distancing. Poles took to the streets of Warsaw last night, and bars and restaurants reopened for the first time in more than 6 months. New coronavirus cases in Poland dropped sharply this spring. And Dr. Anthony Fauci is to deliver the commencement address at Atlanta's Emory University tomorrow morning. The school was involved in early clinical trials of COVID-19 vaccines. I'm Giles Smith, NPR News.
Support for NPR comes from this station and from Subaru with the 2021 Subaru Forester, featuring standard symmetrical all-wheel drive and safety technology. Love, it's what makes Subaru Subaru. Learn more at Subaru.com. From EBSCO, contributor to the Folio open source project, which is working to develop the open source library services platform of the future. Learn more at folio.org. And from the listeners who
Geese.
support this NPR station.
The geese are grazing.
South of France. Local news outlets are with almost daily reports of hijacked hives. Frank Leto is a beekeeper and is also president of the National Beekeepers Union of France. He joins us from the west coast of France. Thanks very much for being with us.
Hello.
What are you hearing from other beekeepers about these thefts?
So it's a very big problem for us in France, and it's not only the problem of the France, the problem is in west of Europe. Beehive theft is a phenomenon that has always existed, but is now taking on a new dimension. For example, 50 hives disappearing all at once.
50 hives disappearing all at once. Why would someone want to steal a beehive? And I'm sorry if that sounds naive.
The pesticide have killed thousands and thousands of bee colonies each year. For this reason, the price of swarms increased. It's a very big problem for the beekeepers.
How does somebody steal a beehive?
There is only one method. The method is to bring the hives during the night, because all the bees are in the hives. But you need to know the bees. It's not an amateur. You need to be professional. It's the beekeepers who are the guilties.
So it's your own beekeepers who are stealing the hives of other beekeepers, you think?
Some beekeepers prefer to steal the bees of another beekeeper, and it's a facility, but it's not correct. We need to stop this very quickly.
How?
So, we propose to the beekeepers the installation of cameras in trees near the apiaries of photographic traps equipped with infrared camera. It has been used to track down criminals. This year, 2 thieves have already been caught thanks to this system. Another technique is to hide commercially available GPS trackers. We put this in between the frames in the hives, which can be purchased for 200 euros.
But that will cost the beekeepers more money, right?
Yes, it's true. Because the bees are the mother of the life on our planet, and we must respect them. And we must respect the beekeepers. It's the same thing if he loses his children. We have a big responsibility. We ask to all the beekeepers, please speak, inform the police. We need to be united between us and to find necessary responsible.
Frank Leto, who is president of the National Beekeepers Union in France, thank you so much for being with us, sir. Good luck to you.
Thanks, many thanks to listen to French beekeeper.
The Silk Profile is an international thriller, but even traditional big screen action like an explosion is seen on the smallest screen of a laptop. At the heart of the story is a British reporter who tries to explore how ISIS militants in Syria recruit young women in the West. So she creates a fictitious identity on the internet that's a ploy that draws her into a relationship where the lines between what's real and what's fake begin to blur.
What's that behind you? I think I can see.
Do you like guns? I'll give you plenty. Starting with this lovely Kalashnikov.
Kalash.
Kalash? Ne? Kov. Kalashnikov. When are you going to come tell Sean?
Profile is based on a non-fiction book, The Skin of a Jihadist, by Anna Gorel. The pseudonym for a journalist who still will not use her real name. Profile stars Elaine Kane and Shazad Latif had won the Panorama Award at the Berlin Film Festival, and the co-producer and director of Profile, Timur Bekmambetov, joins us now. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
The entire film takes place on the screen of a laptop. But it was shot before the pandemic, wasn't it?
Yes, we shot it 4 years ago. And it was not the first movie I've shot where a story takes place entirely on computer screen. It was like the fourth movie. That first one happened 2014. It was what we call Unfriended. And Universal distributed it worldwide. And my colleagues and other producers and studios, they told me that, okay, it's great, but probably there are no reason to shoot another one because it'll be at the same time, it'll be gimmicky. And I spent many months trying to convince my colleagues that we spent half of our life not in physical space. We live in digital space, and there's no way to tell stories about our life without showing our screens.
Did the actors ever see each other in person?
Yes, they did. Before the principal photography, which is not photography, it was screen recording, they met and they spent a week together trying to develop the language because it's a totally different type of filmmaking.
And of course, we often ask in thrillers
Iceman.
if the actors did their own stunts. Here I have to ask, did they do their own typing?
Yes, they did. It is also a unique process because the way how we type, the way how we Google, the way how we buy stuff online tells about us much more than our facial expression, our body language.
Wow. Dirk Porter, who creates this identity, tries to find out how young women are drawn into ISIS. It seems as if the man with whom she strikes up a relationship, if that's the word, on the internet, well, is it a relationship?
It is. It is because her professional goal was to convince him, and there is no way to convince him.
Vaccines are making you sick? Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's a thing. You know, that's a country's prerogative. You know, interesting. All right. I'm going to hang up here and I'm going to restart again when we go on the long delivery. Don't understand. Awesome. I got another little delivery. Awesome. Got another little delivery. Well, maybe I'll keep you guys here. I don't know. Maybe I think I'm going to hang up and I'll start over. I'm going to try and squeeze some little deliveries in between the big delivery. Be efficient, make money. Oh, that's not the right side of the camera. That is. That's the Cleveland Airport over there. Some of it. All right, I'm going to hang up. I'll be back. I'll be back pretty quick. Ciao. Hey, Lucky, I'll be right back. I'm going to start a new one. I'll be back in a few minutes.